show. Hi, I'm Duke.
And I'm Lola.
And this is BossaNova Life. And today,
we are going into our next installment of our Get to Know series as we get to know...
What? The Delta Bombers. That's right, guys. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you very much.
Like we just talked about a second ago, you guys don't need our attention. You guys are here to help us out, apparently.
No, the band that needs no introduction.
The band that needs no introduction. That's indeed true.
But we will go around the horn real quick because I think that's kind of fun. I always like to, you're one group, and then people like to get to know the individuals. So we have Chris. Chris, give us a wave.
Hi, everybody.
Chris is the lead singer and
the
lead singer, rhythm guitar player, kind of crazy person, and half the time, and the one who's always trying to get everything. I'm always trying to put everything in the right spot,
You're the organizer. Is that it?
I don't know. I think we're gonna get to Andrew here and find out who the true organizer is.
Maybe it's Andrew.
Andrew is the one who knows how to pack.
Yeah, my name is Andrew. I play lead guitar for the Delta Bombers, and I do a lot of the behind-the-scenes admin stuff and string pulling and inventory and all kinds of stuff like that.
You're the administrative assistant.
Yeah, that's what I am.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm basically the office receptionist.
There you go. Yeah, you answer phones.
So he basically does everything.
Yeah.
Oh, I do everything besides sing and play drums and stand up bass.
Nice.
And then we have Greg.
Okay, yeah, Greg.
Yeah, hi. I'm Greg. Yeah, I play upright bass, and I pretty much just watch Andrew do all the work,
Sounds cush. Like you got a cushy job there.
Oh, yeah. Drink whatever beers are left over.
And then going to, should we say it? The birthday boy today, PJ.
Yes, and I've already ran out of wine. Having Greg with his technical difficulties, I needed something to pass the time.
Well, happy birthday, PJ.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, PJ.
Trying to figure out if Greg is drinking Modelo out of the biggest bottle I've ever seen, or whiskey.
Oh yeah, look at that, straight up.
Oh,
it is Modelo. All right, okay.
Yeah. Dude, is that a 72?
They don't sell those in Oregon. In Oregon, that's too low.
That's a growler.
I like that.
They don't sell Modelo in a growler.
Modelo time, fool.
We call it Modelo where I come from.
I'm more of a Pacifico guy, but I respect.
Yeah.
I love them both.
Okay, well, thank you guys so much for joining us this evening. We loved having you here. And I have to say, we've seen you many times, as most people have, I'm sure.
True.
And whenever you're playing a show, we're like happy. We're woo, the Delta Bombers. We're happy to be there. So
the Delta Bombers, I'm just gonna throw out there what I would say, and I'll let you guys, whichever one of you want to fill in the blank spots. The Delta Bombers have been around for over 10 years. They're as they describe themselves on your online as a roots music band with some roots inside of rockabilly. Does that sound accurate?
I would say that sounds pretty accurate.
You got the stand-up bass going on. You got all of that, which is great.
Yeah, I would say it's very roots inspired, and then it kind of just meshes into everything else, But definitely started off as like traditional 50s rock and roll rockabilly music.
Wonderful.
yeah, awesome. With that driving voice. So, Chris, the vocals. Awesome.
Well, thank you very much. But I mean, it's all love of rock and roll and blues. Robert Johnson from back in the day, and then you just grind it and milled it more, and then when you put a little metal behind it, it works really well.
Yeah.
That's that Pantera we were talking about earlier.
This is the part where it's going to get clipped out of here.
Well, the questions I have, I'm not going to ask in the order I just necessarily have them in, but that leads into one of the top questions I would have is, what are the inspirations for some of you guys from the vintage scene?
Yeah, and even just individually. So you could speak to what has inspired Delta Bombers, or individually what has inspired you guys.
Yeah.
I'll let Andrew take this one.
Yeah, so from the get-go, I think we were pretty heavily influenced by your typical boring old Johnny Cash and the Stray Cats and Eddie Cochran.
Those
And not that it's boring. That's just a very typical answer. But we were pretty all obsessed with that kind of stuff in high school. From there, once we started actually playing, I think we let our sound get molded by a record label that we fell in love with called Wild Records.
Oh,
and
wow, nice.
And we were listening to Omar and the String Poppers and Luis and the Wildfires, and not necessarily trying to copy them per se, but capture their modern energy that they projected through that vintage telescope. And since then, we've really taken on our own influences, be it AC/DC or Motorhead or the Ramones, and we've taken little bits and pieces and slopped it all together into one giant roots meat grinder of just whatever the fuck we want to do.
Definitely picked up on the Motorhead action.
Thank you. Right?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
100%.
It is very true.
Correct.
You got Chris
Yeah,
doing the vocals. There's a connection.
Well, I mean, when we first met Ozzy Chong and Nick Lopez with me and Andrew back in 2008, we listened to psychobilly music. We listened to rockabilly music, and then we were playing pool and just listening to Wild Records, and it was just CD after CD, and then that Ozzy had, and that's what really started driving us towards a little heavier rockabilly music, instead of, because when we came together, we said we want to play rockabilly rock and roll music, and we try to do your 1/4/5 blues, blue suede shoe style, and we tried for a little bit, but then we figured out we're all metalheads as well, rock and roll music. So let's just put it all together and play and get drunk and play together now.
Yeah.
And I literally just thought of this. Would you describe yourself as like millennial rockabilly?
Absolutely, I think so.
Yeah.
It's got to move forward, and that's the question. How is it moving forward? So there you go.
It's got to move forward. It should move forward.
That's kind of the idea. And I think it can move forward any way it wants to. It doesn't have to move forward in our direction. Anybody who plays it can move it in any direction that they want. And for some people, that's keeping it the exact same. And for us, it's just not, I guess.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, we always like to kind of mix it up.
Well, and I think that comes through. Like, that's what gives you guys your own sound, because you're bringing all of that history, and then you're mixing it up whatever way you want to. So, good job.
You got the Stray Cats in there, so you got the 80s. Yeah, everyone knows that. So I read online, I'm going to admit this, and Andrew was like, everyone knows our background. Everyone's heard this before. I'm pretty deep in the scene. I've never actually heard that until I literally looked it up today. So apparently Andrew ran an ad back on the MySpace days to get this band
Give it
started.
Up for MySpace.
So how did that happen?
Yeah, so I was pretty obsessed with rockabilly, and so was Chris, and we didn't know each other. And I ran a MySpace classified ad, and I had one reply. Like, that's the only reply I got, was Chris. He was like, hey, I like Johnny Cash, and I'm around your same age. Like, we decided we wanted to cover some songs and see if it sounded good. And we kind of made a pact. We're like, listen, if this sounds good, if this sounds good, let's keep playing. And if it doesn't sound good and it's whack, let's just never see each other again.
Yeah.
And we really said
what have you got to lose?
Hookups,
and
right?
it worked out. It worked out.
Those MySpace hookups.
So were you guys?
So we basically
it sounds like you were both on the Rockabilly page at first.
There was a Rockabilly page separate from MySpace back in the day too. I can't even remember the name of that right now, actually. But I remember I was trying to pull out like an ad on there I was going to try to do, and then put one on MySpace. And when I went on MySpace to put one, I found Andrew's, and then I saw all the same things that I was kind of looking for, and I was like, all right. And then when we met up, Andrew was going to be the singer and I was going to be the lead guitar player.
Yeah.
And then it turns out I can't play lead guitar for shit.
The truth comes out. Oh my God.
All right, so I guess at least were you guys in Vegas at that point?
Mm-hmm.
So you've always been in Vegas. Okay.
Yep. Born
I
and
love
raised.
those Vegas bands. So the newest addition to the band, PJ, tell us a little bit about what brought you in and what it was like to come into this band that you probably had been listening to before.
Well, to start off, my roots have always been in punk rock, and so I was always driven by that. Punk rock and psychobilly are kind of hand in hand. So I grew up listening in high school I was listening to like Tiger Army and Madsen and all those psychobilly bands.
Good choices.
Went to college, studied jazz, so I have a background in jazz as well. I moved to California about 5 years ago, so I'm actually based in California, and I didn't set out for this kind of music at all, honestly. I just came out to California to try and be a musician, and I just kind of fell into it. So I was playing with this, it's kind of like a working band. They were called the Rayford Brothers. That's how I got my start. After that, I started playing with the Rockets, Three Bad Jacks, and then just kind of going from, bouncing from one group to another. Delta Bombers were looking for a new drummer last year, so I answered the ad and got the job about 2 weeks later. So
nice.
Now you're making those big bucks.
Oh, I sure am, Andrew.
Well, and what a time to join in the midst of this year, which has been crazy. That's why you're drinking all that wine. I don't blame you.
I felt like you guys should have on last week's stream been like, hey, there's 14,000 of you. If each of you just give us $1.
Like televangelist. Be like, the Lord told me.
Exactly. The Lord has told me. The Lord actually told me.
I want to
buy now.
That's right.
PJ had one of the most impressive tryouts. I mean, not only was he musically sound, but he drove from Long Beach to Las Vegas to be a part of this open tryout.
So that's like 6 hours?
It wasn't. Maybe it was that long. I'm not sure, but he didn't even make a mention of it. Like, he didn't make a big deal out of it. Like, she just showed up. And when I found out that he came from Long Beach, I was like, dude, like, you're showing like some real effort here. Like that's crazy.
Commitment.
Yeah.
I know a good opportunity when I see it. And for what it's, I mean, like I said before, I didn't really set out to be a part of the scene or the genre. I just kind of fell into it. And as I started learning more and more about it, I just keep seeing the name Delta Bombers on a bunch of flyers, opening for the Rev, opening for Tiger Army. It's like these guys have put in the work. So, when I saw that they were looking, I was like, all right, I'm going to jump on it because it sounds like these guys know the grind and they know the hustle. And I'm a working class musician, so I'm going to where the work is.
Yeah.
Well, these guys are definitely, speaking from personal observations, hard workers. I remember 2 years ago, we saw you guys play High Rockabilly in Spain.
Yeah.
And destroyed that show, which was like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
Those guys go hard in Spain.
Yeah, there was kind of a secret to that. The secret was we didn't actually show up to the venue until about 2 a.m. We were sleeping the whole fucking time.
Oh, yeah. We were doing the same thing. We kept going back to our hotel and sleeping until like 11 and then rolling out.
Woo.
Yeah.
So next time, because of the jet lag, we went about a week early and we tried to get on their time. Future
bad decision.
We will not do that. We will stay on our time and we'll be able to party all night long. So
we rolled in and we're like, what are we doing to ourselves?
I think I recall you being a little bit tired when I met up with you guys after the show.
Yeah.
I've been up all day.
I won't lie. It was the 5th night of the event. We had been there since Thursday or whatever, and you guys played Sunday night, I believe, or something like that?
Saturday, I think.
I don't. Anyways,
Headliner.
no, actually, I was so exhausted during that event, and something no one can figure out from the video, because I'm always like, I think we videotaped the first 2 songs you guys did, and literally got on the bus and left. Not because I don't love you guys, but because I was afraid I was literally going to pass out on my face. Like,
and we rented a house far away.
Yeah,
so
we had to walk in the dark every night through that whole town by ourselves
Yeah.
And I'm
Luckily, it was a safe town.
Mi español es muy poquito.
But yeah, that was a fun trip. So Greg, when did you join this lovely crew? Were you did you get in there in the MySpace days also?
I've actually known the guys from the very beginning. I truly have been with the band maybe about, I would say maybe 7 years right now, 7 to 8 years. I'm not sure how long, but I remember I used to play in a wild record band from Las Vegas called Will and the High Rollers, and I would remember kind of really first meeting Chris. He would kind of just, I mean, he had a beard when he was like, I don't know, 14 years old or something. And he would just be in these bars, like these dive bars in Las Vegas.
I'm jealous of the beard. I'm not gonna lie.
I would just see Chris, full grown beard, just in a dive bar, watching some Rockabilly show or Psychobilly show, and that's when I really first met Chris, and he had mentioned that he was in a band, and then I had met their bass player Ozzy, who I became really good friends with, and just a long story short, Ozzy invited me over to a rehearsal one day to watch them rehearse and jam out, and I remember I showed up with maybe a 12-pack of beer, and I didn't realize
tall boy Modelo.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but I didn't realize that they were all young. I thought they were kind of 21 or something, and that's when I first met them. And then I played bass in another band, and they just came up, and we kind of helped them out to opening gigs, and kind of showed them the little wild record way, and that's pretty much it. That's when I first met the Delta Bombers, and that's when I first kind of when their original bass player Ozzy decided to move to California, I just got a call from Andrew and from the owner of the wild record label Reb, and they all had mentioned to me that the Delta Bombers were looking for a bass player, and it just kind of made sense that since you're in Vegas and the guys already, and I've filled in before, and that's kind of how it just became to be,
And they knew that you would show up with the beer, so
yeah, pretty much. Right. Yeah,
you're in.
I can't play any instruments, but if you guys need a hype man,
I can shake an egg. I can shake an egg all day.
Yeah, wave a towel.
So, how many countries have you guys been in? Do you know?
Touring.
I would say I've counted before. It's either 25 or 26.
Nice.
What? Oh my gosh.
So what's your favorite country outside of the U.S. to tour?
I like playing.
Anybody under the bus?
We like playing in Germany a lot. We have a massive fan base in Germany, and it's because literally you can play through almost 36, 40 shows in Germany alone. And then, and then we go from that, and then we hit into France and we hit Belgium, but England is also one of my favorites because it's just all the way up and down, and you can just go the circle and come back around.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Greg, do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite country that you play in?
I would say, I mean, if I had to pick, I would say probably Spain. Just because, I mean, I guess they have that Psychobilly festival, they have Psychobilly meeting, they have the High Rockabilly. Just so many crowds, just good crowds. People dig the music, and I mean, the food's great. It's always on the beach,
Yeah, it's on the Mediterranean. How could that
There's
be
no way
bad?
to beat that. When I found out the High Rockabilly was on the beach, I was like, what? Why aren't all of them on the beach?
I mean, yeah, those are always great, I mean, for location and party-wise, they're always lively.
Yeah.
So.
Nice.
Really fun festivals.
I was talking to PJ, trying to get him to join the band and talk about how much we travel and all the places that we go, and we haven't gone to any of them at all.
Yeah, I know.
It was all a lie.
The cake was, the band was alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. From our limited experience in Europe and from our fans in Europe, I would say the focus on roots music and rockabilly it's almost 5 times greater than the United States per pound, anyhow. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. And those Germans are friendly. They're so nice.
They are.
Whenever we travel, it's the Germans who are
it's the Deutschlands guys or the Aussies. They're like the craziest to party with.
So nice.
Oh yeah,
They're like the best.
Europe is always a fun time. I mean, no matter where we go in there, we always seem to pack and have a great fun time. Or else we tend to get, back in the day, we would get lost in the cities and get drunk.
Yeah.
We saw you guys played the 10th anniversary of Restorama here in Oregon a while back, and you guys played at a little bar that we were at for 75, 100 people or something like that.
Like 150.
And you guys just
maybe,
murdered that bar and had a great time.
Well, I hope you had a good time. We had a great time.
We had a delightful time. But that's my point, is that's what touring is all about, right? Like what you guys are doing in the scene. It's not all about playing for 20,000 people at the Viva Las Vegas car show.
No,
We'll
absolutely.
be doing a lot of 50-person bars.
I mean, every single show should be, if you're in the smallest place or the biggest place, should be the exact same show that you're going to do. And we played in Mexico City in a bar that was, the size of probably all of our rooms combined right now. And the amount of screaming, I can still hear it when I think about it. My head starts ringing from the screaming. But you put on the same exact show in that spot that you do in the big spot, no matter where you go. And
seen live
that
videos
is always the key.
That's a professional. Yeah. That's definitely true
100%.
professional.
Mexico City, I've heard stories. I heard Tiger Army said that was the loudest concert they've ever played.
Mexico City is no fucking joke, man. I would not be surprised if they had the largest rock and roll, rockabilly, vintage crowd on planet Earth.
Oh, I believe it, 100%.
Yeah, I've seen droves of people that are into it out there, man.
If we could just go there for
crazy.
2 weeks and just try all the street tacos and that.
Yeah.
The street tacos are really good. Really. They tell you not to, but just go ahead and have a few.
We eat the street tacos. We're okay with it. We don't mind the street tacos.
We have a mad weakness, even around our area, if we happen to drive by the Latino grocery store and they're grilling chicken outside, I'm like, stop.
Yeah. Road.
You have to.
Yeah, it's the best.
Road chicken, that's what we call it. I'm I'm going to stop. It's going to happen. I'm going to text her and be like, I got dinner.
All right, so how about this? I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
Since you guys live in Oregon, what is your favorite taco? What is your favorite kind of taco?
Oh, I would say carne asada for me.
Ooh.
Okay,
it's a toss-up between that and a fish taco.
I really like pork carnitas tacos, and I like the street taco variety. I like
any
this
bad
little
tacos?
tiny. Yeah, no, but
no, there are. They're called Taco Bell.
Fresh tortillas is key. If there's a place that makes them in-house the same day, that's where I'm going.
Yeah, we luckily live 6 blocks away from a tortilleria that cranks them out, and they don't speak a lick of English, and luckily, my Espanol is
perfect.
So it's enough that I can go in there and they know who I am, and I'm like,
that's the best spot.
It sounds legit. Yeah, it sounds legit.
I want those fresh tortillas.
Yeah. You have to get there before 2, and it's just when they run out, they run out.
They're sold out every day. Yeah. Well, they supply most of the restaurants and stuff in the area, so I always hit them up.
Yeah.
And she's all she'll text me, I want tacos tonight. I'm like, I guess I got to hit the tortilleria today.
Can we pass the test?
Yes. Goyle, did she pass the test?
Yeah, she did. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Oh, wait, hold on. Is it, one more test, flour or tortilla? Or flour or corn?
Corn.
Ah, good.
Corn.
Flour.
Is it one tortilla or is it 2?
Corn, you gotta grill them
one
up.
Or 2.
The size of them, just a little bit chewy.
A little greasy.
Yeah.
Greg, what did you say?
Is it 1 little tortilla or 2 little tortillas?
Depends on whether we're going to a show soon and we're trying to
lose some weight.
Yeah.
What's up? She's always we're going with 1 tonight. I'm like, all right.
Yeah. But 2 if we can, because that's the best.
Yes, we will squeeze the little limes on them.
Yeah.
Gotta do it.
I don't even know PJ's favorite tacos. Because we are a big band about food. We're very about food after the show, and tacos is literally number 1 on the list. If we go tacos and then hot dogs, and we go down from there.
Well, next time you come through Oregon, If you need to write this down on a piece of paper, you need to go to Woodburn, Oregon.
Yeah, they have great. That's our
Woodburn,
little
Oregon,
spot.
which is just north just north of Salem. That's where
Damn.
the best tacos are in the state. And every time we go up there, I will stop. They've got Little Mexico there where no one speaks English. All the signs are in Spanish. That's the best sign.
So, do you guys like kind of fast before a show, like a boxer, and then eat a bunch after? Like cram the tacos in?
Yeah.
Andrew's got this.
Well, I mean, everybody has their own different strategy, you know. So for me, I don't particularly like to eat before a show, but you kind of just eat whenever the food comes. But ideally, you don't eat before the show, and then you just powerhouse down like 7 hot dogs when the show's over.
Yeah.
But I think
Hot dogs.
but
That's
Chris
heartburn
Chris
waiting
likes
to
to
happen.
eat before a show, I think, right? You
I like
like
to
to
eat-
eat before a show,
Yeah, like I like to eat like half the meal before and the other half after.
right?
Save it.
You guys are lucky to still be young because I saw you guys play Dante's in Portland, and I'm like, all they're making is that pizza. Is that what they're eating tonight? That's good. It's pretty rough.
It works. Hey, it's power. Power is power, man.
One of these days you need to combine them and do like a taco hot
Pizza
dog
tacos?
mashup. Maybe not.
Okay,
Maybe
so
not.
let's get back on. It was a great. So we talk about this all night, but so you guys have toured with the Reverend Horton Heat. How did that go?
It went really well. We the very first tour we stayed out of their way, and then luckily we got the phone call for the second one after that. Yeah.
You behaved yourselves well. Yeah. Well, how about this? Okay, so touring, like just, there's that connection you make with people sometimes. What was your favorite band to tour with or perform with?
Ooh, that's hard. I mean,
That's really
this is
hard.
not downing anybody else. And but
Yeah.
if you don't want
Obviously,
to,
you toured and played
Yeah.
with a lot of bands, so you can't you're not throwing them under the bus.
I mean, the only thing is that like you build this like bond with all these bands that you tour with, and then like everyone's someone different, and it's just really hard. That's a tough question, man.
The reckless ones. We'll say that.
How about
Yeah,
you
the
name your
reckless
top
ones are fun.
10 favorites?
yeah, or just like, you're right, everybody has a different connection. So maybe sometimes you just like connect on one way or another.
But I would definitely say like every band that we like, it's almost like going to college. Like you get to watch how each different band, does their own thing, how they do the tour, how they do their show, how they kind of function, and how you kind of get to see how organized they are too as well. With everything. And some bands are like fucking pure rock and roll, and they're just kind of like nomads, and just they're out there, and there's kind of like almost like no organization going on, or they're kind of almost like freestyling it. And then there's some bands that are just they got everything down to a T, and it's just good to see how each band operates on the road, and definitely with more bands that we tour with, the more we learn good and bad things, so
I guess that leads
Yeah.
into a great question then. So what are some of the best skills or things that you have learned from touring?
Lately, I feel like we've kind of developed a rhythm for the day. Like it's so weird. There's no kind of set rules as to how a day on tour is supposed to go, but you kind of develop this flow, and once you get the flow down, your days get a lot nicer. So when to go to bed, when to wake up, when to stop to eat, when to get to the venue. And I kind of feel like we have that figured out now, because to a band that's first starting, it's not very evident. You get up at odd hours, and you might not leave yourself enough time for the drive, but now we have a lot of relaxation time, and everyone gets enough sleep, and everyone's not hungry. So I think that's pretty cool that we figured that out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a really good rhythm, with that,
So it's not all just inhaling hot dogs after the.
No.
It's like you guys are an old married couple who's just kind of learned how to make it through the
Correct,
day.
yeah.
I love it. It's cute.
Yeah.
That's what we say.
We are the family.
Yeah.
What we say is, you're married to like 3 guys, and no one's banging nobody.
There's no spec. But all the work.
I can only imagine. I've been married to one lady for 26 years. I don't even want to know dealing with like 3 or 4 different guys, having to like balance all that out all the time.
Yeah, totally. So does anybody have, okay, and I don't know if you want to share this, does anybody have like a superstitious thing that they do? Anything that you have to do
Oh,
day
good
of?
question.
Anything you wear? Black socks.
They wear black everything, apparently.
Well,
we wear black everything, but
I don't know if you know this.
I don't know if
They
that's
wear a lot of black.
superstition, but maybe it is.
we like keep the heat in, until we need to let it out. That's why. But I mean, before tour or like right before shows and stuff, we'll do a kind of like a pump up, and then we'll let Greg will start playing a song, and then PJ will start getting all pumped up.
Yeah.
Greg, what song is that again?
Usually, we kind of do like these weird things. I know Andrew brought up, I don't know how Andrew fared, but like the victory stance, whatever, like you kind of like raise your arms up for like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like,
Yeah.
for like 2 minutes.
We
we're
usually
kinda just
raise our
around
arms up in
yeah.
victory for about a minute before the show, and that just kind of puts you in that psyche of victory and just aggression.
That's peace. This is V for victory.
Yeah, and it kind of gets the testosterone flowing, and it's just like a very dominant stance, almost like you've already won a boxing match or something. And
Do you guys like listen to Who Let the Dogs Out or like what?
No, there's a song that I used to play. I still play it every now and then. It's a song called "Return of the Mac."
Oh my gosh, that was so close, actually.
That's the song.
Oh my gosh,
it's like a total '90s song.
No,
but,
I know this. That's what I'm saying. I was like, wow.
It's just so I don't know what it is. It kind of like distracts us from everything, and then we kind of fall into the beat, and then
What was it?
Yeah, totally.
I worked at a bank for like 12 years, and then my old boss from like 10 years ago was this lady who was like 64 years old, and she had the CD of Jock Jams. And what was the one?
I don't remember.
It was, she would play that Return of the Mac and all, like, that's what, in the morning, and we would just be like, please.
Well, that's what we do.
They would just put their arms
just kept
up.
playing it over and over again for years. The Jock Jams from the 90s.
Sometimes we're just in that backstage area and we're just bumping this song and then kind of just turn it off and then go out and play like rock and roll music, You
gotta, whatever wakes you up, whatever picks you up, I'm all about it.
Yeah,
Do it.
totally. Well, nowadays, do you guys have families you travel with, or is it that you just kind of go on the road as the guys?
It's still very hard to bring the families out with us because then more cost and everything. But we do try to bring them out every so often. We can bring them out for certain festivals or certain shows, and we can come back out.
Yeah, that's probably nice too. Make it a working holiday type of a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, try to include as much as we can.
Yeah.
So last week, you guys just did a live stream, and how many of those have you guys done since COVID started?
I would say not that many. We've only really done just 2, right? I think just 2 live
That's
streams.
all I've seen. I thought maybe, you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, with PJ living in California, it's kind of hard to kind of do a live stream all the time, but we definitely did one big one with like a pretty good production at a place called Triple B's Backstage Bar and Billiard. And that's when COVID had first really kind of, began, and like the lockdown was really kind of hard on everybody.
Was that Viva Las Vegas weekend? Was that the same weekend?
That was, that actually was. That was supposed to be the week that Viva Las Vegas was supposed to
That's when all the stars aligned for online
We were
streaming.
all dressed up, and we're like, oh my gosh, we're going to do this every weekend. And then the weeks went by, and we're like, well.
Yeah.
This
We're
is
like,
hard work.
maybe I won't get dressed up this weekend.
Yeah.
Maybe, I'm not going to lie, as a guy, just putting on the shirt and the hat, not very hard. For her,
Yeah, it's a little bit.
she
better,
starts doing
but-
like victory curls and stuff. We're going to get like, it's going to get crazy.
But I will tell you, and I'm sure a lot of people felt this, you guys playing that weekend was huge because we were all mourning, like super sad. So yeah, we were happy to have you guys.
I think it was an amazing, I don't want to say PR move, but amazing decision that you guys made and I think you guys did it from your hearts, and it showed.
Yeah, it was good. And you had, was it Street? Okay, I'm not very good with old video games. Was it Street Fighter? Is that what you guys were talking?
It was Mortal
Street-
Kombat.
Was
Mortal
it Street Fighter?
I don't know. Sorry,
Yeah.
we'll cut that out. That's getting edited.
It was get over
It
here.
was Mario Kart.
Get over here.
So, like I was saying, Mortal Kombat, it was awesome.
Radiant.
Yeah, that was actually Chris's idea. That was Chris's idea to do that because they wanted to go on stage in masks because everyone was like totally freaked out about the whole virus spreading and stuff.
Yeah, we had no idea what was going on back then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We really didn't know how bad it was going to be. And I think we also had the unique advantage of, at that point, it was in early April, just the whole world was basically inside their house. So I think even if we pulled out all the stops and had a huge production, we would still not see that kind of engagement or numbers because, people are kind of trying to move on and go out there and earn a living now.
Yeah.
So it was a very one-off special kind of thing that we'll never be able to repeat again. I hope not anyway.
But hey, you made it happen, right? And you get to know that, and you get to put that in your little cap and be like, hey, that happened.
Yeah. Well, and we're hoping that things turn around and at least in kind of small ways, even if it's not like something big in 2021, and that events do start happening again in certain ways. But there are plenty of other opportunities that you guys, I'm sure, will have to bring it to us live if we're not able to get together for certain big weekenders. So fingers crossed, though, that these things start happening. So.
What would you say is your favorite part of like the vintage rockabilly culture?
I was gonna say, as far as I'm speaking for myself. I don't know how I know the guys aren't not as think the same way I do, but I mean, it's all about to me, when I first got into it, it was about the cars, and then I discovered the music, and then I kind of got into it kind of just snowballs into this whole vintage clothing and atomic print and fleck clothes and gabardine and all that stuff, but even to mid-century homes and all that stuff, but I mean, I think just that whole lifestyle was pretty simple. I mean, it's just kind of straightforward, and I think that's just what really appeals to me. It's just kind of the music was loud, the women were just beautiful women. The guys were kind of manly, masculine guys and all that stuff. But it's just kind of straightforward, just simple times.
Well, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head as far as one thing usually draws you in, and some people only stay into one thing, and that's perfectly fine. But a lot of times you start getting, you start with the music, and then you get to the cars, and then it just keeps going, or whatever. So
that's like when I was in Europe, the number one argument I kept getting over and over again was they're like, "You Americans are stupid." They would literally say that. It's only about the music. You guys get way into the classic cars, and you do this and you do that, and I'm all like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm like this guy right here, the classic cars and all of that is what got me to go to Vegas to see Viva Las Vegas with my buddy. And then I got there and I was on day one, I walked around, I was seeing the ladies, seeing all the bands upstairs. I was up till 2 a.m. I'm like, what the hell is this? I don't even know what this is. I've never seen all of this in one place before, and so I think all of it is great, no matter what angle you come at it from.
Yeah.
Yeah, people get drawn in by any angle, but I mean, I think it's good not to get carried away too and all that stuff. I mean, if you just love the music, that's that's good enough. I mean, you don't have to wear vintage clothing just to hear the music. So
Yeah.
I mean, we have an entire home tiki bar that we're coming to you guys from.
Yeah.
So I mean,
We've gotten into it a
I
little
should have
bit.
swapped out the vinyl though for some Delta Bombers.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Every different interview.
I do think that sometimes could be one of the weaknesses of the scene is people will like to divide themselves over I do it this way and the way
every
I do it
scene.
best. And I know, but I just wish people could understand that it's different strokes for different folks.
Yeah.
And you got to appreciate what everybody's into, even if you're not directly into it.
If you want to wear Dickie shorts and sit out at the car show all day and listen to punk rock, I don't care. I'll hang out with you
Yeah,
It
we.
makes no difference to me.
One of the things that we try to say a lot, because there is a lot of clickishness.
Trust me, we know.
So it's
a
like
lot.
just appreciate wherever somebody's at, right? Like if you can connect on one thing, just connect on that one thing,
Yeah.
and then we all get to do our own thing and appreciate what we want to appreciate.
I don't know how many
So,
times we've gotten called fake because I didn't know the exact year, make, and model of some car, and I let everybody know a few times over that I'm just a guy who appreciates the scene. I'm not an expert on all of it, nor have I ever tried to ever purport myself as such. But yeah, that does get old, Andrew. I appreciate it.
I mean, we're all here for like the same reason. We're all here to have a good time, you know, have a few drinks, listen to rock and roll, hear loud pipes on the cars and bikes, you know, and then just watch the chicks, you know, walk by. It's all, I mean, that's the whole vibe of it all. Like you put it all in one giant pie, and that is the best pie you've ever had. Like when you get everyone together, you know, Viva Las Vegas happens, and you're like, this is the best 4 days. This is the best 4 days I've stayed up completely for 4 days to eat and have this pie.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, gentlemen. Well,
what
else do we need to know about you? What's coming up for you in 2021? I know none of us know what's really going to happen, but what do you guys kind of have in the works for what's coming next?
Well, for next year, we're still working on the other half of the next album that we're slowly putting out. And we have one tour kind of set up as all right, we have this set up and hopefully we can go play in May. But other than that, we're still kind of waiting. It's all a waiting game. I think for everybody it's a waiting game because you also have to wait for all of these venues to get more approval to have, you know, occupancy and everything else.
It is a waiting game and it might be a while.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys taking the time away from your families and friends and all of that. I'm sure you had a lot of events to go out to tonight. I mean,
Netflix to watch, lots of Netflix
and
to
chilling,
watch.
hopefully.
But thank you very much. We do appreciate it. I hope that we will see you in person in 2021.
Yeah, very soon. We hope to see you.
Thanks a lot for having us.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys taking your time.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Thank you.
No, yeah, thank you very much.
Drink some Modelo for me.
Yeah,